This has been a pretty eventful week Alien Romulus-wise. Tickets officially went on sale Thursday, July 11th, and with that we saw a good deal come out of the marketing and merchandise department. I'm aware that a lot of Alien fans are being cautious to avoid spoilers, and were satisfied plenty with the teaser trailer back in March with no desire to see any further footage, so I'll first be talking about the fun, non-spoiler stuff we've seen. That would be the swag. Theater chains have already kicked up some advanced ticket sales incentives to keep the theatrical experience alive. AMC theaters, whose motto is "We make movies better," revealed collectible Weyland-Yutani patches that will be available for audiences seeing the film between August 15th and August 18th. This is first come, first serve while supplies last, and is specifically for their screenings in Dolby, IMAX, and Prime. Not too shabby. You can sew that on your backpack, or your military jacket. Personally, I'd feel more inclined to take a trip to the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. For their ticket pre-orders, they're giving away Alien Romulus-themed pint glasses from their post. In space, no one can hear you scream, but they can see your awesome, limited edition Alien Romulus pint glass. This Alamo-exclusive ticket add-on features custom art by mutant artist Ken Taylor, and is the best way to add a xenomorph to your collection without the risk of melting your couch with acid blood. These are only available while supplies last, so pre-order yours with your tickets if you don't want your chest to burst with FOMO. I don't see any fine print on this one, but as they said, it's while supplies last, and I'm sure it's also a first-come, first-served kind of deal, and I'm sure we'll eventually see these show up on eBay for obscene prices. Speaking of which, and not to be outdone, theater chains are also readying to unveil their Alien Romulus popcorn buckets. Regal Cinemas put up a small video teasing theirs, and quite honestly, the tease is enough. I want this. Imagine eating popcorn out of a xenomorph's head. Just incredible. But there's more. Fandango released a tease of AMC's Alien Romulus popcorn bucket, which looks to be a traditional tin popcorn tub, but with a facehugger attached. So if the Weyland-Yutani patch isn't appealing enough, maybe the bucket will get you into an AMC theater this August. This is all good, fun stuff, but the promotional material that really impressed me was the special preview VHS tape for Alien Romulus. This was sent out to distinguished members of the press as a genuine, full-functioning VHS tape. It was designed to look like an old beat-up tape you might see in the video store back in the glorious days of Blockbuster, with some really incredible art from Creepy Duck Design. If you know me in the slightest, then you know the way to my heart is through VHS, so I am wholly impressed with this gimmick. I think it's genius, and just so appropriate, given the series and the genres, and I guess the generally nostalgic atmosphere they're trying to elicit. As per director Fede Alvarez's social media, me and 20th Century Studios decided to release one full scene from my movie, Alien Romulus, though I had just one condition. It needed to be on VHS. It's a nice throwback to be sure, but since we do live in the here and now, naturally the tape's contents were leaked to the internet fairly quickly. I'd like to take a look at that, and will warn that beginning now we venture into territory that's a little more spoilery. I'm not going to be showing anything other than what the studio has officially released or things that have been revealed in interviews, but if you want to go into Alien Romulus absolutely fresh, then here's your warning to turn back now. The tape begins with a riff on the classic FBI warnings that would precede tapes, but expressing just about the opposite. There will be no penalties for the unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or exhibition of the contents of this videotape. You can freely share or post materials without any risk. You may have already spotted a nifty Easter egg, if you want to call it that, in the wording here. A word of warning. Quite intentionally a callback to Alien's original teaser trailer, where the narrator sent out a word of warning to the crew of the Nostromo. Before "In space no one can hear you scream" became the most famous movie tagline in the world, the original catchphrase was, "A word of warning."
A word of warning. Alien. Coming this summer to a theater near you.
As the tape begins, there's an announcement for an Alien Romulus panel at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. As we have now learned, the panel will feature director Fede Alvarez, along with cast Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Renault, Isabella Merced, Spike Fern, and Aileen Wu. This teaser makes a very clever use of a popular video that has been making the rounds lately. A 1979 entertainment news segment featuring Bobby Wygant, where she interviews a young boy whose father had taken him to see Alien. If you haven't seen the clip in full, it's well worth checking out and very amusing, and it works perfectly with this Comic-Con teaser. Let's take a look.
Bobby Wygant, the Texas News. Sunday, the Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth had the biggest day in its entire history. But the biggest surprise is the number of parents bringing children to see Alien. Did you know that this was an R-rated movie when you brought him? Are you sorry you brought him?
I am.
Would you recommend to your friends who are your age to go see Alien? According to the National Association of Broadcasters Code, television cannot show you the more violent scenes from Alien.
What follows is a short clip from the film. Even if you are concerned about spoilers, this isn't especially revealing in what it gives away. We see the characters boarding the ship, the Corbelan 4, and reaching the Romulus station. No monsters or shocking moments, but gives us a good idea of these characters' interactions with each other. In these brief moments, you get an idea of their personalities, their roles, and who can operate what, and just in general how important this trek seems to be for them. We also learn that their true destination was intended to be somewhere known as Avaga.
Is it? Two space merchants coming through. Right, you could look outside the window. That's the way I see it. We're never coming back. Yeah, it's gonna be alright.
Is that?
Yeah. That is awesome.
They say Vaga has the most incredible sunsets. I've seen them. In my dreams. There she is. That's not a ship.
Why is that? Think it was an outpost? I don't know. Nobody got dragged into our orbit.
Okay, that's fine. Let's get closer, please.
Okay. I'm gonna match its roll.
You know, I never thought in the year 2024 I'd be previewing footage of an upcoming movie through bootlegged VHS footage, but here I am, and I kind of love it. I think this is exactly how they intended for it to play out, and again, it's a very good gimmick. The rest of what they released is a little more polished. First is a teaser featuring some words from Fede Alvarez, which incorporates some previously unseen footage, posted seemingly exclusively on X, formerly Twitter.
What is it?
Hi everyone, I'm Fede Alvarez, director of Alien Romulus.
the latest entry in the iconic Alien franchise. As someone who has grown up admiring these films, I'm thrilled to invite you in a journey that honors its legendary roots.
Run.
Join us as we venture into the darkness of space. Coming soon, only in cinemas.
We already saw some of the facehuggers let loose on the station, but we see a new moment here, one jumping up at the glass, which looks to be done practically, unless this is just some really good CGI. The details are great. You can see the ovipositor shooting out, eager to find a host, very reminiscent of the stasis tube scene in Aliens. We see a little more of a facehugger making its way through the water in a shot that was not present in the last trailer. I think it goes to show that these things are quite adaptable and can navigate fairly easily in water. We've seen the full-grown aliens in water before, but never the facehuggers, though you might recall early designs for Alien 3 intended for a webbed aquatic hugger. I think this is the closest we're going to get. There's a little bit more of the illuminated chestburster inside Aileen Wu, some further shots of the Corbalin 4's destruction, and my favorite, a shot of the snarling xenomorph. This is pure ADI practical effects work right here. There's just something about the lip quivering they can pull off that really makes you feel like they've captured a living, breathing monster on camera. This was something severely missed from the previous Alien installment. Also released was a 90-second featurette, also featuring new footage, plus interviews and a few sneak peeks behind the scenes.
The Alien franchise holds such an iconic space in cinematic history.
The whole idea behind this film was to really take it back to basics and make it a pure horror movie again.
This story slips right in between Alien and Aliens.
Rain and her brother Andy are the hard story.
Are we leaving?
Denied. Again.
I don't want to end up like our parents. Do you?
The ship's our way out there.
Welcome to the Romulus space station.
There's a lot of secrets and things they don't know inside that ship that will cost them dearly.
Oh my God.
Just like Ridley did with Alien 1, I think they made a point in not green screening it.
As a fan of the franchise, I knew it needed to be gritty and grounded. So we built every creature for real.
This film brings all of the things that we love from this franchise, so you know it's going to be properly scary.
If you don't stay quiet, we will die.
In this featurette, we get a good look at the colony, Jackson's star. Apparently, there is some kind of process its inhabitants can follow to get somewhere else in this universe, handled by the Office of Colony Affairs. A little bit reminiscent of Blade Runner, I guess, where an idyllic off-world life awaits, for those lucky enough. The characters in Alien Romulus are not so lucky. Kaylee Spaney's character Rain tells her surrogate brother, a synth named Andy, played by David Johnson, that they've been denied, again. There is reference to something happening to these characters' parents. Is it simply a desperate, unfulfilling life on this colony, or was there some kind of accident? Has Weyland-Yutani been as careless with the lives on Jackson's star as they would be eventually with Hadley's Hope? Fede Alvarez has said that inspiration for the starting point of this story stemmed from scenes depicting the colony in Alien Special Edition, particularly seeing the children there and what exactly would happen when they'd grow up older. You do begin to wonder about the particulars of colony life in the Alien universe. What would the company's response be to overpopulation, to dwindling resources? Exactly how long do these contracts last anyway, and where does that put the individuals when they expire? There could be some pretty bleak outcomes, and I think that's what we may see in Alien Romulus, and the desperation that drives its characters to escape this world. It's either get off this rock or just sit around drinking Aspen beer, the brand also enjoyed by the crew of the Nostromo. And maybe Weyland-Yutani should just forget about trying to procure these alien specimens, because I'm sure their monopoly on coffee cups must be worth untold billions. In the behind-the-scenes portions, we can see a little bit more of the effects work. Practical effects, even a fully fledged alien suit. Used sparingly, I'm sure, and by some reports I've heard integrated with CGI, but still very much appreciated. There's some newly seen shots, such as the facehugger pods, which I've speculated about previously, possibly being synthetic eggs in a queen's absence. Rain emerging from a cloud of steam or smoke in her underwear that's much more sensible than what Ripley was wearing. Some kind of conflict between Andy and one of the others, being pushed back. Anti-artificial person assault, clearly. It's a good bet the character pushing him is Tyler, played by Archie Renault. We saw him in the earlier clip playing a little joke on Andy, which is a callback to the moments between Ripley and Newt in Aliens, though I'll wager not as affectionate. I would guess that Tyler doesn't particularly care for synthetics. We've learned from Holloway that you should not treat an artificial person so poorly. Characters who do so suffer terrible fates. This will seem apparent in the next footage we look at. There's a slight bit more in the footage of the alien itself, and just a little bit more of the facehugger rampage as well to be found here. Finally, we have a 30-second IMAX spot. Fear is bigger in IMAX. It may be brief, but it certainly shows us some intriguing bits of footage not seen anywhere else.
Are you sure you want to do this?
This is our only ticket out of here.
Should be in and out in 30 minutes.
On August 16th,
This place gives me the creeps.
fear is bigger
But who's hunting us?
in IMAX.
Impact in 3, 2,
Alien Romulus. Rated R. Only in theaters. Get tickets now.
We see a little bit more of Jackson's star. You can spot a bar sign looking exactly like the one from Aliens. I swear, when I actually sit down to watch this movie, I'm going to try to enjoy it for what it is and not constantly be on the lookout for Easter eggs. I swear. There's an intriguing shot of a facehugger limb in a beaker. Notice the tiny barbs there, a slightly different type of feature from the classic facehugger, but could explain why they're crawling all over the walls with ease. Some kind of experimentation must be taking place here, but it also must have ended abruptly. We also see this new shot contained in the text of the huggers creeping through the door. Much like ants, I suppose if you can get enough facehuggers together, they can perform incredible feats of strength. That is an unnerving thought, actually. There's a little bit more of the snarling xenomorph, and there's some kind of cocoon. I'm sure this relates to the image we saw from the previous trailer. Some kind of metamorphosis into a queen, or a Praetorian, perhaps. Whatever it may be, it doesn't look like Tyler will survive it. So we've been given some exciting new footage, some intriguing new looks, and more pieces to the puzzle are coming into place. The footage released has been plentiful, but I don't think it's been more or less than what studios usually do with any other movies. This is definitely enough, and just really expands on the things we've already known about Alien Romulus for months. It begins with life on a colony, and the main characters escape from it, finding the Renaissance space station. They find that something ominous has taken place there. We have facehuggers that are a little bit different. Some kind of experimentation has taken place. A prominently featured xenomorph appears damaged. There have been speculations that this may actually be Big Chap, somehow returning from the original film, but who knows? Even with the new footage, we still don't get into specifics, and I'm eager to see the surprises we have in store. Yes, we do get hints about which characters will end up meeting terrible fates, but that's nothing new with trailers, especially horror movie trailers, for better or worse, and it looks like something very bad will happen to Aileen Wu and now Archie Renault. We can at least place our bets on Kaylee Spaney surviving, but even that's not a certainty. If anything is true of the Alien series, it's that no one is safe. Even if they survive in one movie, they may be dog meat in the next. Or in the case of Alien Covenant, they may make it to the very end only to succumb to whatever awful fate the evil android may have had in store for them. I'm still actually pretty curious about what may become of Isabella Merced in the film. She has said in past interviews that she was part of a particularly gruesome scene, which everyone turned away from when previewing. And I guess I just assumed it was her own death scene. Since these new trailers have revealed she's present during what is most definitely Aileen Wu's death scene, maybe there's something else in store for Merced. In a new interview with Empire magazine, she gave a little bit of insight into her experience with the film. In Alien Romulus, Merced plays Kay, one of a group of space colonists who run into aliens on a derelict space station. She's the youngest of the group, and Merced said she was inspired by Sigourney Weaver's iconic performance. Think Ripley's daughter, she says. It was definitely inspired by her spirit. After all, in 1979, there were absolutely no signs pointing to newcomer Sigourney Weaver emerging from the rest of the well-known cast as the survivor and heroine of the film. Speaking of magazines, some upcoming releases are giving us a good full look at the alien from Romulus. Total Film magazine has 2 different covers offering a really good look at the alien from the film. The design is absolutely gorgeous and frightening. There's even going to be a Funko Pop figure release, which also gives us a look. It comes in 2 versions for your pleasure, Standard and Scorched. There are also Funko Pop figures for the characters Rain and Andy, but it seems to be limited to these 4, which, from what I understand, won't be released until December. Maybe not having their own Funkos doesn't exactly bode well for the other characters, and maybe I can throw my Isabella Merced theory out the window. One other thing worth mentioning is that Fandango's YouTube account actually released the full conversation between Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez that preceded screenings of Alien for its 45th anniversary back in April. So, if you missed it, it's now available to watch. They're of course vague about Romulus, but they do share some good stories, and you also get to hear Ridley's spot-on Stanley Kubrick impression. It's well worth a watch. Well folks, we're just about a month away now. Alien Romulus is upon us. Each time I come back with one of these videos, I'm more and more excited. It's amazing how quickly I went from being kind of cautious, saying, I hope this doesn't suck, to, I need this in my life, now. I'm very excited. I have my tickets. It's a regular screening, by the way. At one of those Cineplex VIP cinemas in Canada with the recliners and the fishbowls of watered-down alcoholic drinks. That's how I like to do it. I do hope to see the IMAX exclusive 1.90 to 1 aspect ratio screening at some point, since I figure I'll see the movie at least twice regardless, love it or hate it. But what can I say? I have a feeling I will love it, I really do. And I think Alien Romulus has potential to bring the universal love back to the series. I think circumstances are different now than what they were for Covenant back in 2017, and this could end up being a substantial box office hit too. But I guess we'll see. Have you purchased your tickets for Alien Romulus? Are you doing IMAX or Dolby or whatever AMC Prime is? Comment below and let me know. I'll see you at the movies, and until next time, this is Alien Theory, signing off.